I want to start with the secondary because it feels like there's maybe if there's one thing Bills fans can agree on right now, it's that the secondary doesn't look like it's going to hold up as presently constructed. Maybe Max Hairston can help, but we kind of don't know that. So how bad is it back there from what you look at when you see Stephon Diggs go for 100 yards, 10 catches on 12 targets? Like, how troublesome was that performance from the Bills secondary?
Well, I think it's an example of how if the defense isn't connected like it needs to be, where a player like Tre'Davious White, who's not an ideal starter, can be exposed. And obviously the Bills signed Tre'Davious White, and then immediately after doing that, they picked Maxwell Harrison in the first round. They've platooned Dorian Strong with Trey White. They don't want Trey White to be the every down player. They want to give way to a younger player. And unfortunately, this Dorian Strong situation doesn't sound good. He's on injured reserve with a neck injury, and nothing has been ruled out in terms of severity, and he's going to see a specialist. That doesn't sound like a great situation for a guy that is going to be able to help this team anytime soon. And then there's the Maxwell Harrison piece of this where the guy hasn't practiced since July 29th, and he's a rookie. You know, not only does he have to get the knee healthy, but he's got to get ready to play. And I have a huge appetite to see what that looks like. But the point being is if your rush can't be probably more than consistent, and if your other supporting players in the secondary are going to be intermittent with their processing speed, it's going to make it difficult on a player like Tre'Davious White, who, to his credit, I think has done mostly a good job of not getting cooked for big plays in terms of just getting destroyed by routes. I think he's tried his best to keep everything in front of him and trigger and tackle, and I think that's worked out well for him. But you just see the limitations on a third down, and they're going to put him in man coverage. If the rush doesn't get there quick, it's going to be an opportunity for the other team to get a completion. So I think that's where it's been a little bit challenging. And through that, you kind of seen Taylor Rapp with some tardy responses and him not necessarily triggering and playing fast. And so it's putting a lot of stress on some limited players when the overall defense can't be better